Hey everyone, welcome back to Sarah in the Universe for episode 7 of In the Universe with me, Sarah. I am so excited to get into today's episode of In the Universe. So, usually on In the Universe, we will talk about entertainment topics that have dropped during the week, movie news, TV show news, even theme park stuff. But this week, nothing too exciting caught my eye for just news-wise. Instead, I wanted to talk about 3 movie trailers, 2 that dropped this week and 1 that dropped the week before, but they were just so exciting that I figured we'd use today's episode of In the Universe to go ahead and just talk about movie trailers. I am super excited for that. We're going to talk about 3, and I don't know how long, honestly, that the episode is going to go. I try to keep these around, for In the Universe, 30 minutes or so, but honestly, I have so much to say, especially about one of these trailers, so let's see how long this goes. If you stay with me the whole time, I really appreciate it, and guys, if you're already subscribed to the channel, I just appreciate you guys coming back and checking out another episode of In the Universe with me. Alright, let's get started. I first want to start off with Deadpool and Wolverine. Okay, so, let's see. I know that they dropped, another poster. Let's see if I could pull that up. Oh my gosh, I finally try to get organized and have my tabs all pulled up. Because usually I'm, so busy searching for things and I still forgot some stuff. I know, where is it? Sorry, guys. Already off to a slow start. Okay, here we go. They dropped some really cool posters for the latest trailer that for Deadpool and Wolverine that came out this week that finally featured Wolverine. Oh, so exciting. Yeah, those are so great. I think there was also one of Wolverine too. Where is it? There it is. Oh, I love this one. Oh, is it gonna load better? There we go. That looks incredible. Oh, so good. Okay, so I want to first talk about the very first Deadpool 3 trailer that dropped during the Super Bowl, just because I wasn't doing my show back then. So we've got to talk about it because that one was loaded with stuff too. Right off the bat, let me tell you. Now, I am so excited to see Deadpool and Wolverine together in this. It's just going to be so good. We already know that, right? It's going to be iconic. But I'll tell you the one thing that I'm super excited about is the incorporation of the TVA. Okay, as you know from the Loki series, which, my gosh, you guys, just so I don't go off on too many tangents in this video, if you have not watched the Loki series, specifically season 2, oh my gosh, you are missing some good stuff from Marvel. I mean, I'll be honest, Loki, the first season was not my favorite from the Disney Plus shows, but season 2 absolutely blew me away. It's right up there with WandaVision for me. It was absolutely incredible, and just check it out. Do yourself a favor and check it out if you haven't. But the incorporation of the TVA into Deadpool 3, it just looks so good. I mean, Deadpool fighting with these TVA agents and they show up. And then let me tell you who I was super excited to see, Matthew Macfadyen. Let me just pull up a picture of him. And guys, sorry, we're old fashioned here. I show everything on my iPad. But Matthew Macfadyen, if you're a fan, I'm such a huge fan of Succession, one of the best shows I've ever seen. Please do yourself a favor and watch Succession if you haven't. It just wrapped last year, but it's so good. And Matthew is in it, and if you've watched Succession, you know that he is just such a kooky, amazing character in that show. He's such a great actor. He's in so many things. But when I saw him in this, and first of all, when they announced that he was going to be in this movie, I was already freaking out. But seeing him in the trailer, that first trailer that dropped during the Super Bowl, I was just so stoked. I was so excited. I couldn't believe, there he is. To me, this is just Tom, right? This is just Tom who is not working at Waystar Royco anymore. He just works at the TVA now. And I love that. That is so great. Are all of the multiverses coming together in Marvel, HBO, and it's just so funny. But seeing him in that, I got so excited. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe he's a part of this. And I think him, being, working at the TVA, that is so fitting for him. Like I said, if you watch Succession, it's just so fitting. I am so excited for that. I am so excited for that. So that already got me super excited. But of course, just having Wolverine and him looking. Let's take a look at I have it in the thumbnail, but the picture that dropped from the new trailer. Where is it? Okay. Oh, so much stuff here. It just looks so good. And then, they're playing. Yeah, okay, well, that's. Oh, I want the one. Okay, let me just go in my pictures really quick. The Madonna song that they were playing in the newest trailer, so hilarious. Like, every time these Deadpool trailers are just so funny. I mean, they really know what they're doing. Okay, this one. They're doing the, oh, come on. The iconic, superhero walk. This is very like James Gunn to me. If he always does this with like Guardians of the Galaxy or the Suicide Squad or in Peacemaker, they always do that like iconic walk. Like, I love this. I don't know, that's what it reminded me of. And like that's just so good. I was so stoked. I was so stoked to see that. That was so good. It just looks so funny. I'll tell you something that I'm like super excited about is all of the like Disney jokes that they're gonna make, all of the jokes to Disney in the latest trailer. I can't mention it on here, but Deadpool mentions something. He's like, Feige won't let us make that joke, and I was like laughing. I mean, I think it's so funny that they're gonna be, just referencing Feige and Disney. I mean, that is hilarious. And the fact that this is actually coming out of Marvel Studios. And don't even get me started. I already can't wait to see what they're going to do at Avengers Campus. I mean, they have to do something, right? They have to have Deadpool there and Wolverine and some kooky stuff going on. And yes, I know the movie's, going to be R-rated and all that. But like, they have to represent at Avengers Campus or make Deadpool his own little R-rated land because we need to have him there. And Wolverine. Like, I don't know how they're going to do that, but they need to do it. Like, they need to do this. Like, it's just, how can you have Avengers Campus and say, well, every time a new Marvel movie comes out or something, we're going to have the new characters. You have to have Deadpool and Wolverine. I can't wait to see what they're going to do. I'm sure it's going to be huge. The marketing has been huge already for that movie. I am absolutely stoked about it. I cannot wait. Let me see. Yeah, I'm just, I am so stoked. I am so stoked. The cast, I love that, obviously the cast from the other Deadpool films will be returning for this. They are just so funny. And yeah, I can't wait. But we better have something at Disney for them. Like, that's what I was thinking about this whole time. I'm like, we have to get Deadpool, right? And Wolverine. But yeah, I mean, both trailers look amazing. Obviously, there's a lot of rumors just, with any Marvel movie of as to who else is going to be in the movie. I mean, I'm suspect if the TVA's in it. I mean, I don't, how Loki season 2 ends. I don't know if we're going to see him or not, but I mean, that would be amazing. Or some other characters from Loki. I think there's been a lot of rumors as to other celebrities being in the movie. I mean, who knows? Like, I'm pretty excited to see. I think Ryan Reynolds has a lot up his sleeve, and I'm pretty stoked for Deadpool and Wolverine. So we will definitely be talking more about that on here. As much, it's going to be a big summer for movies, as we're about to get into. And I'm so stoked for Deadpool 3. I can't wait. I'd love to know your guys' thoughts on the trailers. What do you think? It just looks like such a funny time, and I can't wait. Okay, guys, let's get into, this is kind of where the chunk of, I think I'm going to be talking the most is going to come in. Okay. So, not this past week, but I believe 2 weeks ago, the trailer for the newest M. Night Shyamalan film called Trap dropped, and oh my gosh, let me just tell you, okay. I am stoked for that. I am so stoked for that movie. If you haven't seen the trailers for Trap, I mean, just any of the trailers we're going to be talking about today, I highly recommend you go check them out. But I'll briefly tell you about what Trap's about, and then I have this whole thing about M. Night Shyamalan that I want to talk about. But let's talk about the movie first. So the trailer, first of all, the film stars Josh Hartnett, which, by the way, I just want to say, I'm going to get into more of Josh Hartnett later, but I'm so glad to see him in more movies now. And he was just recently in Oppenheimer. He was just recently in an episode of Black Mirror, which I'm going to get into that. I'm just so stoked to see him in more things now, because I don't want actors from like the past to like go away. I want them to still be here. And I'm so glad that he's doing this. I think he's perfectly cast in this, but okay. So the movie, the trailer shows that a man, Josh Hartnett's taking his daughter to a concert. It's just given very like Taylor Swift vibes, and they go in there and they're having a good old time. She's very excited about the seats. And then he's like, hey, I'll be right back. He leaves the daughter at the seat, and he notices that all this like the police and these like SWAT, are out there outside the venue, like arming the place. And he goes up to an employee who's selling the merchandise, and he's like, hey, what's going on here? Why is there all this like police and security? Like, what's going on? And the merch guy tells him, well, do you know the guy? I think they called him the butcher or something like that. And he's like, the butcher, right? Like, the feds, they're after that guy, and they've set up this trap because they know he's going to be here tonight and they're planning on catching him. And then Josh Hartnett goes like into the bathroom and he pulls out his phone and he looks and he pulls up his home security camera and he sees he has someone tied up in the basement. And so it's him, right? Well, allegedly it's him. And so then he goes back to, his daughter's, back to the seat, and he's kind of like looking around and all that stuff. But it's just crazy, right? It's crazy. Now, a lot of people were like, why did they reveal that in the trailer that he's this killer? I mean, if you know M. Night Shyamalan, and we're going to get into his stuff, I'm going to be talking about his movies and what I thought about them. This guy likes a good twist. Does it always work with his movies? Sometimes more than others. To me, recently, not so much. I'll get into that. But I have a really good feeling about this movie. Just from the trailer, and I haven't had a good feeling about M. Night Shyamalan movies in a long time. I'll get into my thoughts on some of his recent films. Not great, in my opinion. But that's okay to me, personally. If anyone else enjoyed them, that's totally fine. Like, I love having, difference of opinion. But maybe there's more that meets the eye going on in this situation. In fact, I was telling my mom about the trailer. She hadn't watched the trailer and I was telling her about it. And before I could even say the part of Josh Hartnett pulling up the home security on his phone, she's like, it's him, isn't it? So, even if they didn't tell us right away, like if they didn't tell us in the trailer that he was the killer, allegedly, because we don't know, maybe it's someone else. I think people would have still predicted it, right? And, some were even saying, like, maybe it's his daughter. Maybe that's just, maybe the father and daughter enjoy doing that together. That would be crazy. Or maybe there's more to it. I don't know. I think there's going to be more to it. Either way, I'm so excited for this. I just want to pull up that shot, the one that I have of Josh Hartnett in the thumbnail, because he looks so sinister and kooky. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me pull that up. Yeah. Oh my gosh. That is giving full on psychotic serial killer. So good. Like, he went from like heartthrobs. Like, this is like Ghostface or Michael Myers or Jason Voorhees takes their daughter out to a Taylor Swift concert. That's what it's giving. I'm dead. Like, that's one thing I want to, Should I talk about the good M. Night Shyamalan stuff first, or should I talk about the bad? Let's talk about the good right now, since we're on a high note. I love for this story that it's a completely different, literal venue, if you will, for his storytelling. I think a lot of M. Night Shyamalan movies have taken place, in the woods, outdoorsy, kind of isolated, desolate, remote areas, which have been great in some cases. But I think this is such a different, just a different literal place to tell this story. And it's so interesting that this idea of creating a trap for this killer at a concert is so great, especially in this day and age where concerts are so popular. Like I was saying, it was reminding me of like Taylor Swift with the whole Eras tour thing. I mean, that's very exciting. I love that idea. I think it's super creative. And I appreciate him trying to do something completely different from what he's done. Okay, so now I want to talk a little bit about M. Night Shyamalan and all his stuff. I've been a huge fan of a lot of his work, preferably some of his more earlier stuff. My favorite all-time M. Night Shyamalan movie would have to be Signs. I remember, let's see, it came out in 2002. I remember seeing that in the theaters when it came out. Oh my gosh. That movie, it's my favorite out of what he's done. It's so good. I mean, it's just so iconic, the storytelling and everything. And I think that movie really solidified me as a Joaquin Phoenix fan. He's just, I don't think out of all of the like alien movies that exist, nothing to me personally will be as terrifying as when he sees that alien walk across in the home video on the news, and his reaction. That is so good. That is so good. Everything was done so well about that movie. It was emotional. It just, I loved how everything connected together. If you haven't watched it, Signs, I urge you to check it out. It was really good. It's definitely, when I want to go revisit, an M. Night Shyamalan story, that's definitely the one that's at the top of my list. So good. My second favorite, like of my top three, would have to be The Village. Also, Joaquin Phoenix is in that, as well as Bryce Dallas Howard. So great. I know a lot of people didn't like it. They're like, oh, it's too predictable, blah blah blah. Honestly, I loved it. I thought it was great. I couldn't have seen what the reveal was. So I loved that one too. I respect that some people didn't care for it. And then I really loved Lady in the Water, which also starred Bryce Dallas Howard. I think you can see a pattern. I'm very in favor of the Joaquin Phoenix, Bryce Dallas Howard, M. Night Shyamalan movies, but that was so good. I cry every time I watch Lady in the Water. It's so good. Paul Giamatti is in it. It's great. Okay. I think my decline for M. Night started to go down with The Happening, starring Mark Wahlberg. I remember seeing that in theaters. Once the movie ended, there was this like this just general reaction from the theater of like, what? And I just didn't feel like it was strong. I get that, when it comes to any director, they're going to have their movies that are going to be better than the others. And of course, it just is up to how the audience perceives them. Everyone's going to have their favorites. I just didn't get The Happening. I mean, I get what they're trying to say, but it was not my favorite. I didn't care for it. I'd never care to revisit that film ever again. I was not a fan. I'm sorry. And then more recently, so I'm looking, okay, The Visit. I didn't care for The Visit either. I think it was an interesting concept. Didn't care for it. Old, I didn't care for Old either. I saw that, did not care for it. And then most recently, Knock at the Cabin. Okay, I will say this. I thought the cast was amazing. Who impressed me the most? Dave Bautista. Oh my gosh. Like, when I tell you that he really proved that he can do this like serious drama stuff, and I think that was so great for him. I've loved seeing him get out of like the whole Marvel Drax, even though I love him as Drax. I think he's so funny. But I think he proved himself such a serious actor with Knock at the Cabin. And the rest of the cast was amazing. No complaints about any of the cast or anything in any of this. It's just more of like the film itself. I mean, I get what they were trying to say with that movie, but honestly, I wasn't like moved by it. I wasn't really all that like shocked. But again, this is totally my opinion. I mean, I think, and I'd love to know your thoughts on like the M. Night Shyamalan movies, of what you liked, what you didn't like. I just wasn't really like, oh my gosh, And then, okay. The Sixth Sense, of course, is I think one of his most iconic. I still prefer Signs over The Sixth Sense. Sixth Sense, it's fine, it's great. It's not one that I go back to. I think it's obviously a huge part of like, pop culture, but not my favorite. Signs is still the highest one for me. But with that being said, that was my rant about M. Night Shyamalan. I had this like love-hate relationship with a lot of his stuff, but Trap has gotten me so excited that I will be watching that for sure in the theaters. Like, that's because like I didn't see The Visit or Old or Knock at the Cabin in theaters. I was like, nah, like no. There was a time I'd watch all of it. After The Happening, I was like, not watching this stuff anymore in theaters. Like, Trap has trapped me. Trap has trapped me. I'm going back to see that. That looks so good. I appreciate him for trying to do something totally different. And I think it pays off. You know, some people might watch like, I don't know. But to me, I'm totally interested. I'm interested in the setting. I'm interested in the story. And my gosh, you cast Josh Hartnett in it. Absolutely, absolutely. I will be watching that. So I am so excited for Trap. Like, that looks so good. Let me see. I just want to click on, see what else. Yeah, no, just looking at the cast. But yeah, like, I mean, I'm super stoked. I'm super stoked. This comes out, when does this come out? I believe in August. Okay, August 9th. Dang, I wish it was coming out sooner. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I want to watch that one, like, real quick. Yeah, no, so that's how, I felt with Shyamalan, is I felt like some of his, like, recent stuff for me is not done it, so I haven't been, like, racing to the theaters to go watch it. But Trap is trapping. I can't wait for that, guys. I'd love to know your opinions on Trap. Are you seeing that? Are you excited? What do you think of them already revealing the killer? If it's Josh Hartnett, maybe we're assuming, or maybe it's someone else. Maybe he's covering for someone. I don't know, but I'm excited. Now, the M. Night Shyamalan news doesn't end there, because, okay, if I can find all my my tabs here. So, another trailer for another crazy, like, supernatural horror fantasy movie called The Watchers dropped this week, starring Dakota Fanning. This one is directed by M. Night Shyamalan's daughter, Ishana Night Shyamalan. Wow, what a name. That is so pretty. And so I believe her dad produced it, and she's directing it. Was she directed before? No, it's her first film. Wow, that is crazy. That is insane. But I definitely urge you to check out the trailer. It's called The Watchers, based on a book, from what they say. And so it's pretty interesting. So it stars Dakota Fanning. She kind of goes off into the woods. She's driving down there. She gets off, and there's just all this, like, weird stuff going on. And this woman's, like, she's kind of standing in this, like, box thing. She's like, hey, hurry up, come inside, before it's too late. And then, it's like there's these other people who are in there, and they're all talking about, like, some creatures going on outside and all this stuff. It's just very interesting. I can't explain that one very well, but, just go, check out the trailer. It's very interesting. It's very dark. It gave me the vibes of, like, Knock at the Cabin meets Blair Witch Project meets The Happening all at the same time, which, I already told you how I feel about The Happening and what was it, Knock at the Cabin. So when I'll tell you one thing. When I first watched this trailer, I was like, okay, this is interesting, this is spooky and creepy, but I'm not, like, racing to go watch it. Like, it's not like with how I watched Trap, and I was like, oh, I gotta go see that. I didn't have that reaction initially to watching the trailer for The Watchers. However, right before filming this, I was like, okay, let me get a refresher. Let me watch all of the trailers I'm going to talk about again. The second time, I felt more compelled. The second time, I was kind of noticing things, and I was like, you know what? That's what kind of it reminded me of, like, Blair Witch Project. And I was like, okay, that seems really interesting. I would say I'm still more, like, racing to watch. I know I'm going to watch Trap in the theaters, but this one, I may wait to kind of see what people say. I don't like to go off of what people say. It's like, oh, if they say it's a good movie, go check it out. I'd like to, just go on my own. But I don't know yet. It kind of reminds me of stuff that I've seen before. And this is not to put down anyone, because, like I said, I know it's based on a book. And I know this is, a first time directing for his daughter, which I think is amazing. So I don't want to sound like I'm putting down the film. It's just I'm not like, yeah, I have to go see that. But it certainly looks very mysterious and interesting. And something that I thought was interesting, so Dakota Fanning's character, she's carrying her little pet bird in this cage. And I was like, oh, well, that's kind of, symbolic. Because then these people, right, like in the thumbnail, I think I put this picture in the thumbnail. Oops. They're also in this type of cage. Kind of reminds me of, like, You, the show You, where he he puts the people in the cages. Yeah, and then I'm just reading. So okay, so I can give you guys a better narration of the trailer. So on Google it says a 28-year-old artist gets stranded in an expansive, untouched forest in Western Ireland. Oh, it's Ireland. That's cool. Finding shelter, she unknowingly becomes trapped. Gosh, all this trapped and Shyamalan stuff going on this summer, alongside three strangers who are stalked by mysterious creatures every night. Okay, so I was wondering, right? Because she, like I was saying, Dakota Fanning's character, in the trailer, she has this bird cage and the bird's in there. So it's maybe kind of like symbolizing like the humans being trapped in a cage, and if they're creatures, maybe this is like animals or creatures of some sort, using the humans as like pets in a way. I don't know. It's based on a book, so I'm sure, the spoilers already out there. I'm not gonna go look. But maybe it's gonna be different from the book, similar. I don't know. It seems certainly interesting, but I don't know that I'm racing to go see in theaters, but I definitely want to see more. It definitely will be interesting to see what people say. But that's funny. We're getting two different Shyamalans films based on trapping people this summer. That's actually so interesting. I didn't even realize that till now. That's pretty cool. And that one I believe is coming out in June. Let me see. June 7th. Wow. So you got two different Shyamalan movies, a couple months apart. Like, that's pretty cool. I mean, I think it's great. I'm down for like more horror movies. I think recently, the recent years in Hollywood, we've had such a like surge of horror films, and that's been great. I think there's been a lot more interest in horror, and I say the more the merrier, and I think that's great. And oh yeah, I also wanted to say, like, the trailer kind of reminded me of the movie Barbarian, if you've seen that. It was giving me those vibes too. So we'll see. I'm super stoked. I think we have a lot of great movies to look forward to this year, and particularly this summer. We got Deadpool, Maxine, Watchers, and I'm super excited for Trap. So much coming out. I honestly can't wait. Oh yeah, what I was gonna say too, kind of going back to the M. Night Shyamalan stuff. When I was kind of going through, I guess, my M. Night Shyamalan like drought, that's when I really, Jordan Peele had come out with like Get Out and Us and Nope, all movies. I'm such a huge fan of Jordan Peele. I love what he does. That's what I was kind of feel like I was gravitating more towards Jordan Peele. Even though Jordan Peele is doing Jordan Peele thing, his movies are totally different from Shyamalan's. But I felt similar in the sense that they were bringing their own kind of storytelling to Hollywood, as far as like horror, psychological thriller, fantasy, however you want to describe it. I appreciated that there was their own, and Jordan Peele reminded me of Shyamalan, like, in that sense. But I'm really hoping that, for me personally, Shyamalan redeems himself a bit with Trap, because it looks so good, and hopefully I can be like, okay, like, the Shyamalan I missed is back. But like I said, everyone's gonna, maybe you are more excited for the Watchers than you are Trap. Everyone's gonna be different, but either way, I think it's great that we have like all of these movies to look forward to. I can't wait personally. I think it's just gonna be a great summer filled of great movies, and I can't wait to talk about them on here. Okay, you know what, I actually didn't go over time. I see that I'm I think that's pretty good. I think is that all I wanted to cover? I think so. I just knew that when it came to the Shyamalan stuff, that there was like so much like I wanted to talk about. Let me go through my tabs here and make sure. Oh, see, I totally forgot something. I'm glad. Okay, let's go back to Trap and Josh Hartnett. Why I can see why they cast him in that role if he's gonna play this like killer type role. If you guys haven't watched the latest season of Black Mirror on Netflix, I urge you to check that out, because he was in this episode with Aaron Paul. I love Aaron Paul, from Breaking Bad. He was in an episode with him, and I don't want to spoil it, but all I'll say is you'll know why he got cast in Trap from that role, because my gosh, I was like, oh, it was such a crazy episode that, and I love that series Black Mirror, but that, there was a couple, I think there was like 2 episodes in the newest season that I was like, okay, this isn't bad. But a lot of the episodes literally traumatized me, and I couldn't even finish like one of the episodes. I was like, this is getting too dark. Like, I love dark stuff. I love psychological horror, all that. But there, it was destroying me, like mentally and emotionally. I'm like, I need a break from this, man. So it was great, but you know, he is so good in that, Josh Hartnett, and I can see why he got cast in this role from that Black Mirror episode. So definitely check that out. Okay, see, I was gonna forget that. I'd be so pissed to forget that. Okay, let me just go through my tabs, make sure I didn't miss anything I wanted to say. Yeah, I think that is it. Okay, guys. So if you guys sat through all that, hearing me ramble about trailers, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode of In the Universe. I know it wasn't anything like news was more trailers, but I had so much fun talking about this. Actually this week, either tomorrow or sometime this week, I'm going to be doing this whole new series where I just talk about movies from the past, you know, movies that have come out like, you know, years ago that, obviously my channel is super new. I haven't talked that I just want to talk about and share my feelings about, and just have a discussion about the film. I'm super excited to do that for one of the movies. I can't wait. I just love rediscovering movies. And you're like, now I know I fell in love with that movie so much. I can't wait to do that this week. And then The Fall Guy with Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt, that comes out this week, and I can't wait to review that on the channel. I'm so stoked, guys. Guys, I want to say, for those of you who checked out the video, thank you so much for watching this. If you watched the whole thing, I appreciate you guys so much. And if you guys are subscribed to the channel, thank you for staying subscribed and checking out another video with me. I appreciate having you guys here and having your support. It means everything to me. And if you guys are checking out this video for the first time, I talk about movies, TV shows, fandom stuff, theme parks. I do the weekly show In the Universe where we talk about entertainment stuff. And if you'd like to stick around, I'd love to have you here, guys. But guys, thank you so much for checking out this video. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. I can't wait to see you back here for more videos, everybody. Thank you so much, everyone, and have a great week, guys. Take care. I'll see you guys soon.